Our readings are from the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time, from the Book of Wisdom. There is no God beside you, who have the care of all, that you need show you have not unjustly condemned. For your might is the source of justice, your mastery over all things makes you lenient to all. For you show your might when the perfection of your power is disbelieved, and in those who know you, you rebuke temerity. But though you are master of might, you judge with clemency, and with much lenience you govern us. For power, whenever you will, attend you. And you taught your people by these deeds, that those who are just must be kind. And you gave your children good ground for hope, that you would permit repentance for their sins. The word of the Lord. Our reading comes from Paul's letter to the Romans. Brothers and sisters, the Spirit comes to the aid of our weakness, for we do not know how to pray as we ought. But the Spirit himself intercedes with inexpressible groanings, and the one who searches hearts knows what is the intention of the Spirit, because he intercedes for the holy ones according to God's will. The word of the Lord. The Lord be with you. Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. He proposed another parable to them. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a person took and sowed in a field. It is the smallest of all seeds, yet when full grown, it is the largest of plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches. All these things Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. He spoke to them only in parables to fulfill what had been said to the prophet, I will open my mouth in parables, I will announce what has laid hidden from the foundation of the world. Then dismissing the crowds, he went into the house. His disciples approached him and said, Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field. He said, He who sows good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed the children of the kingdom. The weeds are the children of the evil one. The enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are angels. Just as weeds are collected and burned up with fire, so will it be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send his angels. They will collect out of his kingdom all who cause others to sin and all evildoers. They will throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. And the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears ought to hear. The Gospel of the Lord. Matthew's Gospel, this particular passage, poses questions that have been asked for centuries. I've heard them in many parishes. Namely, why doesn't God eliminate the evil people in the world and just keep the good? The reality is also from the Gospel. We hear oftentimes Jesus say, God the Father lets the rain fall on the good and the bad. He makes the sun rise on the proud and on the faulty. In other words, God takes care of all, and we have to learn to live together, the good and the bad, until that end time. And it helps me to look at the difficulties that we've been seeing, especially here in New York, with the fightings. I believe Black Lives Matter. I really do. But I believe all lives matter, for all people to be able to have a just and fair life in themselves. But when you hear Black Lives Matter, and you see in the news that blacks are killing each other, the world has to wonder if black lives really do matter. A few days ago in Brooklyn, after a gun battle, media interviewed a black person. We're talking to him, and in the middle of that conversation, he said to them, the problem is we're killing each other, and that has to stop. I offer to you that there is a problem. We want oftentimes to take up the problem with getting rid of the evil, but sometimes we want to uproot the weeds with the wheat. And therein lies the problem. You ever hear the word that you throw the baby out with the bathwater? That's what we seem to be doing because we're so angry. Sure, the people are angry at the police, but you can't uproot all the police because of a few bad cops. You have to deal with those cops. Police generally are good. They care about the people they take care of. And I'm telling you this as a Franciscan priest of almost 40 years next year. I know what it's like to be called sex abusers. Happened to me in Boston. People think that the clergy that have abused children are all clergy, and we're not. There are clergy who care for their parishioners and their people. Cops are not all bad. Priests are not all bad. We have to take a step back and look. I offer to all of you what Mark Twain once wrote. He said, not all of us can be great as God is great, but any of us can be as good. To each one I offer to you this ability to learn, to be with the good and the bad, especially when the harvest comes. We need to make sure that we're the ones on the side of the wheat and not the weeds. God bless. Have a good week.